and we are joined this hour in studio. You've heard him on the Odd Couple before. He is our college and NBA basketball analyst, basketball guru. He's the voice of Sports Talk 2319, was a tremendous basketball player himself in college at University of Detroit.
Yep.
And his name is Rashad Phillips. Let's hear it for Rashad.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you.
I really do. I'm happy to be here, physically here.
Yes. Yeah, you always give us great insight.
Yeah.
I had you on the podcast back when I was doing In the Zone.
Loved it.
And we had a wonderful time. You said, real quickly, Rob, you were saying Trae Young was the best player in the draft. And obviously, Luka came out and balled. I do think he deserved Rookie of the Year, but Trae had a great year, and you were certainly right on that.
But I was just going to say, full disclosure, I've known Rashad Phillips for a long time, since he was in college. I actually covered him when he was in college. And in Detroit, before I left to come out to L.A., he was my college basketball guy when I did the local news on Channel 7 in Detroit. So we go way back. I mean, probably since you were, 19 or 20 years old.
Yeah.
For a long time. He's a good man. I'm proud to see where he is on his platform.
Appreciate it.
Because he does his work and he knows what he's talking about when it comes to players. So definitely a pleasure to have you.
I appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
Well, let's get right to it, Rashad. You just jump in, man, and let's have some fun.
For sure.
We obviously are all caught up in the NBA Finals. Toronto 3-2 over Golden State. But the leading scorer in these finals,
we should have just asked him real quick, as a former player, though, about the injury thing. And have you ever been in a spot, just on the KD before we get there, where doctors are telling you one thing, you're feeling it another way, feeling pressure? Because I think KD felt pressure to play only from the standpoint, it's the finals, they're down 3-1, he's their big dog.
And reports that your teammates are wondering, confused.
Remember all that stuff was out there?
Angst was the report.
Exactly. So just take me, has that ever happened to you where you're in a spot, felt like pressured to play and doctors are saying something else?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't experience that in college. I only missed 2 games in college. But when I was overseas, I got hurt a couple times.
You played in Italy, right?
Yeah, I was in Italy. I played at a lot of places. And when you would get hurt, you would feel the pressure of playing. And they would create a narrative around you of, your teammates are getting mad at you.
How come he ain't playing? He just taking money. He don't really want to play.
So the media would write that stuff?
Yeah, they would write that stuff. And, and it's like the guys are, the guys are winning without you. We're practicing. They almost feel like they were alienating you when you get injured. So you don't feel part of the locker room. So I think a lot of that had to play with KD in regards to the media, us guys telling you, oh, you need to play, you need to do this, the social media. We know Kevin Durant loves Twitter and Instagram.
Right.
He reads the things, so he sees all the stuff going back and forth. And I think that was one of the determining factors. He's like, let me show them I'm playing.
Yep.
And he was the best player on the court when he was out there.
Right. For 12 minutes.
For 12 minutes. And when I saw him go with that rip through, like that quick twitch as a hooper, I know that quick twitch right there. I felt it. I saw it pop. I felt it pop. Because that's how you know if you're healthy.
That's a move,
twitch,
right?
Look how he got hurt. It was a twitch move, and it was like, ooh, I felt it pop. I felt it. So
because he was fine if he's just taking jumpers or just pull-ups and all that,
but
right?
He tried the twitching.
And you know what? And you heard some people say, well, if he had just stuck with, shooting the jumpers and spot-up shooting, you can't do that.
Come on, right?
If that's a part of your game, you've been playing this game for 20 years.
Hard for you to act like you're not going to do that.
It was going to happen at some point. He was going to make a move, or defensively or something like that. It was going to happen.
Yep.
All right, before I was so rudely interrupted by my co-host.
I just wanted to get
that was knowledge.
No, it was. I wanted knowledge from a player who's been in that spot.
I appreciate that. I played college basketball too.
I'm talking about a major college player who played in the NCAA tournament.
You could have said
wasn't
that.
Playing.
I thank you for that. No, you could have said it was a lot worse than that. You could have said a real college player.
No, I didn't say that.
No, I'm saying I appreciate
you. On a college team, I respect that.
You. All right.
Even though they were playing in the cornfield of Ohio. I'm stopping.
It was too much.
All right, go ahead.
Chris, you can score. Don't worry about it. You can put it in the basket. That's all that matters.
I almost beat Nancy Lieberman in the exhibition game.
Rashad is the basketball analyst, and you got an excuse for that. We use the women's basketball.
They slipped in the WNBA ball. You don't think that matters?
That should have made your hand a little bit better.
Yeah, that's light.
It's too light. It felt like a volleyball. I had no touch on my jumper.
No touch on
that should have made your handle much better. You should have been destroying.
He should have been Dr. J.
Right,
in it.
exactly.
She's in the Hall of Fame.
Like Kawhi.
She's in the Hall of Fame. You're poo-pooing Nancy Lieberman?
I would have beat Nancy Lieberman.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm telling you.
She'll beat you now.
Chris would have went at her.
Rashad, no.
All right, go ahead.
He's the guru. I'm telling you. All right, Rashad, let's get to it.
Yeah.
Steph Curry has been much maligned because he has 3 championships and no finals MVPs. Right now, if he could lead Golden State to this comeback
That's
from
a big
3-1
if. Wow.
but if because you only get the MVP if you win. But he is killing it, Rashad.
Yeah.
Win or lose. Yeah. He's averaging 32.4 points.
Killing it.
5.8.
Team was down 3-1.
Listen to these stats before you say something.
Stats are empty sometimes.
32 points is never empty.
Yes, they are.
32 points is who you know averaged 32 points a game empty.
And their team was down 3-1 and he scored 32 points a game? How you down 3-1 if you're that man? Stop always saying Steph is the greatest, but his team's down.
Let me tell you something,
And then you know the game that they really needed, game 4, when they could have tied the series? He came up with a 23 spot, and it wasn't good enough. Don't give me that. And Klay came back. So all of a sudden, he's so great. The game that they really needed him. The game that they needed him.
Quit yelling like that makes your argument like that makes your argument legit.
I'm just saying the game that they really needed him, he came up small.
Did they need him last night?
Everybody said.
Did he come up small last night?
Everybody said, but you know what? He was tired. He scored 47 points. He was worn out. He couldn't come bounce back. Stop it. If you're that guy, he ain't that guy.
You act
Rashad.
like they're playing against.
That's why they got KD back on a busted Achilles to try to play, because they knew they couldn't win without him.
All right, look, let me read the numbers and I'm gonna sick Rashad on you.
Yeah.
32 points, 5.8 assists, 5.6 rebounds, and yet you have a guy like Rob Parker
it ain't just
hating on Steph Curry and Rashad. And we know you know the game.
Yeah.
You think not only is Steph being overly criticized, but you think he's the best player in the world.
I do.
Go ahead.
I do. And when you when you look at basketball from a skill standpoint, I think Steph Curry and Kobe Bryant are the most skilled basketball players that we've ever seen. When you look at the total package of dribbling, shooting, passing, IQ, the wow factor, I think Steph Curry has that. For a guy that's 6'3", that only has a 32-inch vertical, the way that he's been able to impact the game since he's entered the NBA is something that we've never seen before. We've never seen a Steph Curry before. He's revolutionized the game. He's iconic. And the things that he's able to do night in and night out, I don't think we give enough credit to how great NBA players are until we actually go to the game and say, like, do you see what he's doing against other professional players? Like, this dude is not playing at LA Fitness.
Right.
Like, Steph Curry's doing this against the best athletes, taller guys in the world. So
more athletic guys,
they jump higher, they bigger, they stronger.
And it is not easy. Most people don't understand how good these guys are. They don't understand that the worst dude in the G League is nasty.
He would torch you.
Right?
He would torch you. So the fact that Curry has been able to do that, I know he doesn't have a finals MVP, and I understand us as the media.
He should have that 2015.
No, he shouldn't. Andre Iguodala won that. Point blank. Stop saying he shoulda, woulda, coulda.
No,
he didn't win it.
You say
he didn't win it.
When the Detroit Pistons lost their first championship, if it wasn't for the fans to call on Bill Laimbeer, they could have 3 straight.
He didn't win it.
Don't ever say that again.
He didn't win it.
Don't ever tell me how Detroit should have 3 straight.
Steph Curry is better than Isaiah Thomas is ridiculous. Well,
let me explain to Rashad where you coming from. Give me the context.
Let me get the context.
I have said, Rashad, all my life,
Yep.
I've said Isaiah Thomas, the legend in Detroit,
no doubt about
is the greatest small player of all time.
Yeah.
Now I believe Steph Curry is the greatest small player of all time. Isaiah second. Rob obviously doesn't agree.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. For whatever you want to say about Isaiah, he beat Bird.
Awesome.
He beat Bird, Magic, and Michael Jordan all in their primes. He doesn't have another 50. He don't have 4 deep. And I'm talking about 50 greatest players of all time. Joe Dumars was a great player.
Hall of Fame.
Right? Dennis Rodman was a great
Hall
player.
of Fame.
All these guys. But I'm talking
Mark
about...
Aguirre was a great player.
He went in the Hall of Fame. But
but he was a great player.
I'm talking about the team that Steph, and we're seeing it in this finals. Steph can't do it by himself. He can't win it. He ain't on that level because he needs those other guys.
He already
needs
did
Klay.
it in 2015.
No, he did not. That's what he did not.
Of course he needs other guys. Isaiah Thomas's first finals, he scored 15
I just gave you the players he beat.
4 times.
I gave you the players he beat.
4 times.
Yeah.
I'm not telling.
Okay, let me give you the players Steph has beat. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, James Harden.
Everybody done beat LeBron James. He lost 6 finals. That's a feather in your cap.
Even in your
They
hate.
beat LeBron James like a drum in the NBA Finals. That's not a feather in your cap.
Yeah, it is.
No, it ain't.
Magic lost 4 finals.
Dallas, no. LeBron's supposed to be.
No.
Dallas, Magic was the greatest player of all time. What people said he was the greatest player of all time at one point in his career.
The greatest point guard of all time.
No, I
heard
said
that.
player.
I
okay.
never heard that.
LeBron is supposedly the greatest, one of the greatest players of all time.
And Steph beat him.
And all I'm telling you is everybody beat him. So did Dirk Nowitzki. I could go through the list.
Yeah.
Everybody beat LeBron.
Kawhi
beat him.
On your
everybody.
list, on your list, Rob, you have, even as much as you get on LeBron James, you say he's the second greatest player of all time.
I'm just telling you.
So don't poo-poo Steph for beating him.
I'm just telling you that, but with LeBron, when you talk about filling the stat sheet, there's nobody better. And he is a great player. I'm not going to say he's not a great
don't
player.
rip Steph
but
for
he
beating
ain't.
him.
But to
Don't
say
act
that,
like
I'm not,
Steph
I'm
ain't
just
getting
saying.
no props for beating him.
But everybody beat him. That's all I'm telling you. Everybody.
So what's the issue with Steph Curry? Because I just think that outside of basketball, he's a great person. He just goes about it the right way, and the way
we've seen Steph Curry guys like that. They played on Harlem Globetrotters and usually beat the Washington Generals. Haven't we seen no shots?
No. Steph.
You know he's out of ammo when he starts cracking corny jokes.
Steph Curry has done what we probably won't ever see again, and now he's created a path to help guys that are his size. And now NBA scouts are starting to look for guys that have that type of archetype, and that's why a guy like a Trae Young went so high in the draft, because you can't really duplicate what Steph Curry does, but anybody that has some type of sentiment of doing that will get drafted now because he's opened that door.
Changed the game.
And all the kids love Steph too because he's the same size as them. So they look right at him and say, "I want to be like Steph." And I'm 6 years old or 8 years old.
It's getting bad, right? It's getting bad.
What
too soon. Give me that drop. Too soon.
What?
It's too soon, bro.
It's all good.
It's always too soon for those jokes. All right, let's get to it. So Rashad, we're joined by Rashad Phillips, basketball analyst for The Odd Couple. He is our guru. He's also the voice of Sports Talk.
Everybody trying to grab him now. Everybody want to grab him now.
Well, hey, let him see. Rise to the top of that mountain, brother.
Yeah.
I'm with you. But you believe that one player in particular is going to benefit from the Kevin Durant injury.
Yeah.
And explain to us who it is and why you say that.
Yeah, I think the player that's going to benefit from it is Klay Thompson, because I think it was he was in a rock and a hard place before all of this, because he was kind of the last guy in regards of the contract situations. So now that Durant is hurt, what's going to happen is that Durant is going to have to maybe stay in Golden State.
So not opt out.
Yeah,
opt into
he may have.
Okay.
So, but then Klay has the leverage now, because now he's saying if Durant sits out and I walk, Golden State can be in shambles.
Right.
You know, he can leave the cupboard bare because the Lakers could offer more. So now Klay can walk in the office and say, "Hey, look, I want $200 million. So let me clear the number up. I know Golden State can only offer him 5 for $191.
Right.
So I'm just exaggerating, but he can ask for 5 years, $191 million, and if Golden say, hey, we want to just give you 182, and the Lakers say we gonna give you 191.
Well, they can't.
The Lakers can't give him
they
more.
They can give him 4 years, like 140.
Right, because of because he's not their player.
Right.
Yeah, but he could still walk.
Just out of respect.
He could walk, and if Klay holds all the cards, because if he walks and Durant sits, then there's going to be a huge hole there.
No, and they're going into that new arena. So in San Francisco, they're going to need to go in there with some strength. Oh, no question.
But speaking of that,
the games, I mean, they were going to max. The thought is that if KD leaves, Klay's getting the max.
Right.
Now, if KD stays, yeah, you got Draymond coming up in a year too. So financially, they're going to have to work these things out, but they should do everything they can to keep all four of those guys. At least,
I understand that.
And I hate to say Draymond might be the expendable guy because he's not expendable. He's necessary.
But he might have to be.
But
just from a money
right, if
situation,
you can only keep a few of the guys,
you may have to let them walk.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is Nike came out with that T-shirt we talked about the other night.
Yeah.
And it had all the places that KD had played.
Yeah.
And San Francisco was on the back of that T-shirt. You remember?
Yep.
And now, if he has to stick around another year or whatever, he actually will be in San Francisco. I don't know. That's just weird that they put that on there without the real idea or knowing for sure whether he was ever going to play a game in that new building in San Francisco.
What do you think KD should do now? Like,
I don't think he has any choice.
Few options. You can stay. You can opt into the $31.5 million and stay one more year, and then become a free agent in 2020. You won't play next year, assuming it's torn, your Achilles. You can, if maybe Golden State offers you the 5 years, $221, max deal, or do you still consider going somewhere else? Like New York would certainly offer him the max, even if he's going to sit out the first year or something.
I don't know about that.
They will. They will.
New York, they will.
I think
beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I'm sorry.
You would not.
I remember when they would not re-sign Bernard King, who was a great player for them.
Kevin Durant.
But that hurt their team, and they, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't let the Knicks team doctors examine him.
Yep.
And they refused to give a guy a deal. Do you know what I'm saying with his knees?
I remember that.
I'm just saying. Medically, if I don't feel comfortable, you could go and say.
So if you're the Knicks, you would not offer Kevin Durant.
No, I wouldn't. I would want to see Kevin Durant play again. I just would, and I'm just saying from Kevin Durant's standpoint, I think what he should just do is take the $31 million, stay there, rehab, play one more year.
That's what I would do.
And then go back in. And if he comes back, everything's fine.
But
he's going to get paid.
When's he going to come back?
What?
Like if he sits out all of next year.
Well, he has to. He ain't playing for anybody. So what does it matter?
So my point is, if he's a free agent in the summer of 2020, no one will have seen him play. So you wouldn't be able to go anywhere.
Yeah,
but
they would know he's healed. They would know he's healed.
Really?
Doctor.
You wouldn't see him on the court?
Yes, you would.
When?
Wait, I'm saying what?
You think you're gonna play summer league?
I'm not saying, but I
mean seriously, like.
But I would be able to work him out and see a little bit, like if he can play, and I would take that. I'm talking about right now. I wouldn't give him no $200 million
investment.
I wouldn't.
Would you, Rashad?
Would I make the? Yeah,
if you're New York.
Yeah, if I'm New York,
I wouldn't.
I'm the beggars can't be choosers.
Thank you.
And then
we ain't in no
position.
position.
Where you going when you
no, and then you're in New York, and then you know what'll happen? Like what always happens to the Knicks? They're left holding the bag with a guy who's not the same guy. That's all I'm saying.
That is their history. I'll give you that.
And they've made that mistake over and over and over.
Not with a guy as good as Kevin Durant.
It's never been a Kevin Durant on the market.
A guy as
well,
good
you
as
go
Kevin
ahead.
Durant.
If I'm a GM, I'm not signing a guy who just blew out his Achilles. I'm not doing it.
That's why you're
not to $200 million.
It'd be 4 years, 164.
Yeah, I'm gonna take.
And where y'all going anyway?
I'm gonna take that swing. I'm the New York Knicks. I'm gonna take that. What comes to mind, Rob, is Carmelo Anthony. You signed him to a ton of money, great player, but didn't have nothing around him. So it just felt like you wasted a ton of money. So I see where you're coming from, Rob. But
I get it.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. But Kevin Durant is a different type of player that you have to swing the bat on. There's some players you swing the bat on and some players you don't.
No, I understand that.
He's a guy like, you know what? Sit out a year. You're worth it. We need you, and he's worth the risk,
right?
Pretty much.
And look, the Carmelo Anthony thing is interesting because if Kevin Durant, Carmelo in his prime, gonna be a Hall of Famer and all that in my book, he was never Kevin Durant.
Thank God for Syracuse.
He was never Kevin Durant. Okay.
Yeah, no.
However, if Kevin Durant doesn't come back, say 100, say he comes back 93% of what, he might be Carmelo Anthony. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
unable to lead a team to a championship.
And Rashad, not only that, are you sure another star player is going to follow an injured Kevin Durant? Like seriously,
they will have to build through the draft.
But you see what I'm saying? Like they have 2 max deals open.
2 max open, yeah. And then
so now you're gonna get somebody else to follow Kevin Durant who's not going to play next year, and I don't know what we're going to have. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Scott Perry I think he lost some sleep when Kevin Durant got hurt.
It's like the Knicks curse. They talk about it. It just whatever can go wrong. Like they thought he was signed, sealed, and delivered. Am I right, Chris?
Yes.
Like all the talk was that and then to watch this guy go out there and go, "Are you kidding me?"
I tell you what, I still would sign him. I would too. I'm like Rashad. I would roll the dice on him, and I think he's going to come back and be close to what he is, if not the same.
Yep.
And like I said, where are they going otherwise?
Nowhere.
No.
Home dinner, maybe a show. I don't know.
No, they ain't going nowhere. You got.
Like I said, when the corny jokes start coming, he's out.
That's when he's out. Okay, that's what it. Okay, that's what it is.
Is that what it is? My wife liked my corny jokes. Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, Rashad Phillips says Zion Williamson is not, I repeat, not the best prospect in the NBA draft. He'll explain next. Man, you came with some hot takes. Steph Curry, best basketball player in the world.
Yes.
Klay Thompson, going to benefit financially from Kevin Durant's injury. And Zion Williamson is not the prize of this upcoming NBA draft.
Correct.
Man, I like it, though. We like that.
You said hot takes or hot sauce takes? I'm not sure about that.
Truth.
All right.
You know what? Before we get started, I forgot. I brought you guys some shirts. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I got you guys some gifts. So look, this shirt, this for you, Chris. Magnetism. This is what you bring to the table.
Thank you, my man.
You make everybody around you better.
Thank you, especially Rob Parker.
Do they make this in men's sizes too?
Look at you, see?
That shirt says magnetism. That's
brother.
for you, Chris. You make everything around you better.
Extra small?
Thank you. I like
Rob,
that.
and I got you one. This one is unfiltered and unbothered.
Hey, that's me.
This fits you perfectly. You say what you want. You do what you want. And you tell bad jokes when you run out of ammunition.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so I got you guys some gear.
Appreciate that.
So
That's very nice.
You have a clothing line
Yeah,
too?
so you guys.
Do it all.
So
Thank you.
Yeah, so Chris, I know you be out hooping with the fellas. Take that in. And
he ain't playing over a year. Stop it with that. Chris is 50 years old now. Sean, stop it.
Hey, let the legend live. Let it live.
I know you be in the gym, so when you go in the gym with the magnetism shirt, you get first pick, man. They be like, look, we rolling with Chris.
My man.
See that,
all
Rob?
right. I'm with that.
Look at that. Look at that. There you go.
Ready to the gym tomorrow.
Unfiltered and unbothered.
You ain't been in the gym in a decade.
What are you talking about?
Since Nancy Lieberman school.
Stop it.
You ain't played since then.
So those are my gifts.
Man.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
it's
very
nice. Yes, magnetism.
That's what you got, Chris.
Oh, it says the ability to shape chemistry. Yes, aura that attracts positive energy.
That's what you are, Chris.
I like it. Thank you, my man.
You're welcome.
Hey, Chris, you know what?
I want tremendous judge of character.
I want you to wear that shirt the next time we go to Magic City in Atlanta. I want you to wear that shirt.
He's trying to get me in there.
No.
I want to get Chris in there just to see what's going on.
Nah, he all right. He all right, man.
I'm a happily married man.
You ain't got to touch.
I don't need to be bringing that up in my place, in my spot.
All right.
Yeah, he good, man.
Right. Thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right. Let's get, speaking of magnetism and unbothered and unfiltered, Zion Williamson. Rashad, I got to tell you, I know you're going to come with a serious take, but I have not talked to many people in the NBA who don't love this guy.
Jerry West said he wouldn't take him with the first pick. He's one guy.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. Jerry West
said
he would not take him with the first pick.
So
you're in good company.
You agree. So go ahead and tell us what you think of this draft, Zion, and who you think is better than him.
I actually like Zion. It's just the fact when I look at the prospects, I look at the overall landscape of the player. And when you look at Zion, a lot of his success is going to be predicated on someone else. When you look at the point guard play, I like Ja Morant because I look at dynamic point guards like superstar quarterbacks. Okay, so when you're looking at Ja Morant, a Trae Young, we're looking at like a Patrick Mahomes. When you're looking at a Zion Williamson or a DeAndre Ayton, we're looking at a defensive end like a Jadeveon Clowney, a Myles Garrett. So when I'm drafting, if I'm a team, I want a Patrick Mahomes. I want a guy that's dynamic enough where he can make everybody around him better. When you have a Jadeveon Clowney or a Myles Garrett, you still need other people in order for you to get those 15
So do
sacks.
you like Ja Morant better than Zion? So you would draft him ahead of Zion?
I would draft Ja ahead of Zion because of that analogy, because I just think I prefer a superstar quarterback over a superstar defensive end. That's just how I would build my team. And I also like his teammate. I like Cam Reddish. I think Cam Reddish may be the best prospect in this draft class. He has a lot of Tracy McGrady to him. He was a facilitator in high school. He can get his own shot. He's 6'9". He can shoot it. And I think he's the Randy Moss of this NBA draft. I think a lot of his red flags are media-based. I think he's really good. And when you look at Randy Moss' career, the Lions took Terry Fair.
People in Detroit never forget that. The Lions passed over him, right?
We passed over him for Terry Fair, a 5'9" cornerback out of Tennessee, when we could have drafted Moss. But the media red flags were on Randy Moss, and so people passed on him. And I think Cam Reddish fits into that Randy Moss. Like, he's so skilled. So when we see Cam Reddish roll, you're going to say, man, this was the Randy Moss of the draft.
Let me ask you about Zion's
Can I ask you something quickly about Cam just before we get to Zion? What I've heard, and a lot of scouts like him.
Yeah.
But I've heard people wonder, like, why was he the one that deferred and didn't get his? Like, he went in as highly ranked as RJ Barrett was the number one guy, but he might have been ahead of Zion, right?
Yeah.
And RJ and Zion got theirs. It wasn't by Coach K saying, okay, this is the pecking order.
Right.
Cam just kind of naturally deferred and let those two guys be the stars. And some people have not liked that. They've thought that's a red flag.
And and see, that's another media. I think that's a media red flag. Okay. I don't think that's a Hooper's red flag. I just think that once he got there and started and analyzed the situation, I think that's a feather in his hat, though. See, I don't look at it as a red flag. I look at it as, this is a good teammate. This is a kid
but he's not a point guard.
He's a facilitator.
But he didn't even do that, did he?
They didn't use him like that. The Duke don't let their wings do that.
So Coach K didn't know what he was doing?
That's another story.
I'm just
no. I think some college coaches, sometimes you just get a bunch of 5-stars and you just roll the balls out. Sometimes these kids go to your school looking for direction, and I don't think that Cam Reddish was used properly. If you watched him in EYBL, the guy was Tracy McGrady in high school. You ask anybody who played against him. Then when he got to Duke, he was a spot-up shooter.
Right.
That's a check mark in his book to me, because it shows you that he was able to switch his game. So when you play
I like that to a degree.
What out of these two things bother you the most with Zion? We're talking about his size. College he dominated or whatever, but there's a lot of guys in the NBA.
That size.
Right? That size. Or his jump shot. Ugh. Like, you know what I mean? Like, which one would bother you the most if you would get – because I know he could do a lot of other things very well, but I'm saying if you would have picked one of those two.
I don't like the jump shot.
Okay.
Because I'm a natural jump shooter, so I judge jump shots. Cam Reddish has the prettiest jump shot in the draft, and I broke it down on my show. I actually broke this kid's jump shot down, and he's one of the guys where I don't like to box score every kid. When I just like to watch the tape on mute. I don't even want to hear the commentating, because sometimes when you watch tape and the commentating, they kind of give you the narrative already. Right. So I watch a lot of Cam Reddish's tape with no volume. And what I see is a Tracy McGrady type of player. And when you look at...
And you're talking about basically the eye test, right? It's the eye test.
He passes my eye test. And Zion does too, but when it becomes, leaving him open for a jump shot, I don't want Zion taking my jump shot. I want Zion slashing, being powerful. He's kind of a Julius Randle to me, but he's a super version of Julius Randle. Left-hand dominant, straight down the line scorer. He's a better defender. He's a better athlete. But I think Julius Randle's a better jump shooter. And Julius averaged, 21 and 10 this year, 21 and 9. So it's not chopped liver. So I'm not.
And Julius was a 7th pick in the draft?
Yeah, so I'm not. So that comparison for me is not like I'm taking something away. It's me just being objective here with that.
I hear you. I mean, and one thing I do like about Zion, I don't think his jumper's broken.
No, it's not broke.
I think he'll work on it and become a pretty good jump shot. I mean, Blake Griffin now shooting 6 threes a game.
Yeah.
So I think he'll develop a good jump shot, good three-point shot. I think in today's NBA where the floor is spread, it's easier than ever to get into the lane.
Yes.
So he's got a pretty good quick first step.
Yeah, he got a first step.
So he'll be able to get to the hole, and he's going to be able to finish over most NBA players, right?
He won't have a problem finishing.
It's a handful of 7-footers, JaVale McGee, athletic guys that might give him trouble at the rim. He plays defense already.
He does. He's a good defender.
And I like the fact that, today we're used to the best players dominating the ball. And Zion, at least at Duke, he got his 20 and 10 off the ball.
Intangibles.
Which I think, like I always, when we thought maybe the Knicks might end up with Kyrie, KD, and Zion, I like that because I was like, that third guy, right, he's going to be able to give, I need him to give me 18 without, having to have the ball in his hands because KD and Kyrie
and dribble the air out of it.
Right.
Like
so I do like that about it.
Yes,
but
me too.
It's look, Cam, I've heard great things. And hopefully, it'd be exciting if he did become like a Tracy McGrady type.
I truly see that, and I'm not really, I'm not trying to put him at Tracy McGrady's level, but I see the skill level when Tracy came out of high school in '97. It's kind of the same type of makeup. So when I use these comparisons, I think people jump to you saying he's going to be a Hall of Fame?
Right.
Like, no, when Tracy McGrady entered the NBA, he was a talented 6'7" kid with tons of potential, and he ended up living out that potential. So I think Cam Reddish has the same type of Tracy McGrady potential.
All right, cool. Our man Rashad Phillips is going to stick with us. It's the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. Before you head on out, we want you to settle something that really has been dogging our show.
No, dogging Chris because he's a welcher. He's a welcher.
Don't let him influence you. Let me objectively explain the situation.
All right, let me hear it.
Now, first of all, FanDuel. You've heard of FanDuel.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Legitimate betting service.
That used to be big, and now they're like a minuscule company that people don't even pay attention to. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that?
Where does that come from?
Go ahead.
Where's that come from?
No, go ahead.
FanDuel is huge. I don't know what you're talking about. Right. Anyway, because of Kevin Durant's injury last night, they are giving out refunds on all Kevin Durant-related prop bets. Okay? Now, that brought us to my situation with Rob. We bet during the NBA season, maybe a month into the season or something like that, we bet that, what was it, that LeBron the
Lakers would not make the play. I said that.
But hold on. We bet that they would make the play. I bet they'd make the playoffs. He said they wouldn't.
Okay.
And I felt it was understood that if LeBron James gets hurt, then the bet's off.
I don't know about that.
We bet some Jordans.
Oh,
so that's the top. We didn't bet chicken wings.
No, that's a real bet.
And we bet some Jordans.
Can I talk now?
And the bet was would LeBron lead them to the playoffs.
No, and see, this was my thing. Chris was going to use that as an escape clause to get out of it. Say he missed a couple games or something.
Yeah.
And my only point
I would give you a couple games.
My only point is that when you have a bet, that's not how it goes, even in Vegas. If a quarterback gets hurt or something, they're not going to change
one game, of course not.
No, but they're not going to change the bet.
Okay.
And so all I'm saying is that's just a part of sports. It goes with the game. FanDuel might have done that, but Vegas would never do it.
We ain't Vegas.
No, but who's bigger? Who's the Bible about gambling?
Vegas.
Is it Vegas or FanDuel?
Vegas.
FanDuel. Please, it's Vegas.
So
you don't get your money back if somebody gets hurt.
So this is how I look at it from both sides. This is what y'all two got to do. Y'all got to start documenting this stuff. Y'all need paperwork, especially you two. You two need paperwork.
We need Chris to get off that wallet and buy my Jordans.
Which one you want, the Concords?
Oh, man.
I tell you what, he going to get the cheapest pair of Jordans.
Are you going to buy them?
No. Because hold on,
Chris.
Rashad, is it true?
Buddy.
It's not
understood.
If the bet is based on LeBron James being able to lead the Lakers to the playoffs.
That's why you made the bet.
Right. I wouldn't have
you didn't make it.
You really think I'm going to bet on them to make the playoffs if LeBron's not playing?
Hey, Rob G., the bet was whether or not the Lakers were going to make the playoffs. That was the bet.
We got to start having paperwork. I need paperwork in here between
Rob
these
G,
two.
was that the bet? Just be honest. That was the bet.
That was the bet.
It didn't say anything about LeBron.
And we're gonna hire a notary from now on.
Yes,
and
we need paperwork.
Sign.
We gotta have paperwork with these two.
Chris is bothered because so many people on Twitter and Instagram keep saying, will Chris come
with his tape?
No, they're like, will Chris pay up? Will he finally pay up on the Jordans? It gets mentioned all the time.
Well, hold on.
Rob, what size you wear?
Size 11.
Okay. So,
You gonna buy some? If you, I know you ain't buying him no Jordans. But if you gonna get us some free ones,
Now, he want a 10. He gonna put his size up. Unbelievable.
Paperwork.
But hold on,
Paperwork.
there are certain things that are understood. FanDuel didn't. All these people placed their KD prop bets. They didn't say, well, if KD gets hurt,
Yeah, no,
and
that's
we
true.
predicted he would score 25 points. That was
That's
the
true.
over/under. They didn't say if he gets hurt, it's off. But FanDuel, a reputable gambling company, has betting
Refunded.
integrity. They
Yeah.
have better integrity.
doesn't happen in
and
Vegas.
I thought my
That's not the
man
way you
Rob
do it.
had better integrity.
I have integrity,
So-
but my Jordan integrity is bigger.
So, Rob, you're a Vegas guy. Chris, you're a
I'm a
fan
FanDuel
dude.
He don't even know where the company's station. Where is the headquarters?
Does it matter? You
Yeah,
know?
see, he doesn't even know.
Do you know?
He don't even know about
Do you know where it's
FanDuel.
station?
You guys fit your T-shirts. I'm glad I got you guys because you guys are fitting the T-shirts
No,
I gave
I'm
y'all.
unbothered about not buying you your Jordans. I'll tell you that. I don't care how many tweets
Those
you get.
Jordans will match this T-shirt to a T.
You buy yourself
Those
a pair
North
of
Carolina
Jordans.
powder
He buys
blue ones.
himself a pair of Jordans every week.
Yeah, Rob.
That's why he don't have a new car
yeah,
yet.
Rob doing everything.